Welcome to the Talking Diaries podcast featuring Dr. Louis Koster with John Kremer. So, if I am stuck in the storm of thought, the best thing I can do is allow that storm to pass or arise or somehow.
Well, here, so this is something that you can find out for yourself. If you are truly observant of what's happening when all these thoughts arise, that there is a level of resistance there. Like you do not want, these thoughts to be the way they are. And what is interesting is that when you first of become aware that you're fighting against them, you do not want for that to come to your consciousness, or better still, to come to awareness. If you then have the courage to let be, to truly seize all of your activities for them not to be the way they are, then to your surprise, what you will notice is that that is the moment that they will pass.
There's something that you've said a couple times while we've been talking now about having the courage to allow what is arising to arise,
Yes.
the totality to arise. Do you think you can allow that to happen without courage?
Well, so what I mean with courage is that that it, that in a moment that you have thoughts that are uncomfortable, then our tendency is to either fight with them or to have them not be there. Like we are resisting for these thoughts to fully, well, to let them be, because there's a notion that if you were to do that, that then they would become reality. And so what I mean with courage is that despite it is counterintuitive to allow for them, that is what you do, and that takes courage.
Okay. It's in making the decision to allow the totality to arise that there's some element of making a decision that involves courage.
Yes, absolutely, because the mind tells you, or you have the intuitive sense that if you were to allow for a thought that is uncomfortable, so let's say a thought that points to the future and tells you all kind of nasty things that might happen, so like a thought that speculates on something that might be disastrous if that were to happen, allowing for that thought would be the last thing that you would do. But
Okay.
in that the decision not to allow for it, implicit, what it tells you is that you take it for reality. And so the moment that you open yourself up to that thought and allow for it in its totality, you you are doing something that is counterintuitive, because from where you are in the mind, taking that for reality, you would then bring that to reality. That is the perception of the mind, that you bring to that experience. And it is just an appearance, it's not real. So, in the allowing for its totality of it, and then basically seeing that nothing happens, probably winding up in a place that you realize it was just a thought, you then have demonstrated to yourself that what is arising in the thinking is not real. So no one can tell you that what comes up in the thinking, in your thinking, that is uncomfortable is not reality. That will not make any difference. People can speak to you until you turn into a frog. It is only through your own experience, and that is what takes courage to find out, to discover for yourself that it's not real. And that is what I'm talking about. And what that gives you is a freedom to be, which is just amazing. That is just, I mean, that is everything to have the capacity, the knowing that you are free to be, that you have the ability to be free in the face of anything that arises in your consciousness. That's that gives you an enormous sense of aliveness, a sense of possibility. You're no longer limited or boxed in by whatever your thoughts are telling you.
It's
You
not
can,
really, um, it becomes its own kind of reality that's a real reality in the sense that it is what it is. It's probably a bad way to say it. Uh, so that when you talked about it before, it's sort of falling into the self,
yes,
and that's what gives you the freedom to act with, I guess you could say, without constraint.
without any personal concern. The
Okay,
concern for the personal is no longer there.
okay.
And it's more likely from that place that of the place of being, of just being, that actions are more in a correlate with what's happening around you, with what is wholesome, which what is an expression of love, which is that which is natural and is inclusive and is speaks what you are.
I guess in some ways, I conceive of that as being sort of, I guess you could say, the unstickiness of being.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The freedom of being, the awareness that you are it, that you are alive, that truly you are um, you are reality.
Thank you for listening to the Talking Diaries podcast featuring Dr. Louis Koster. For more information, check out louiskoster.com/talking diaries and subscribe to the Talking Diaries YouTube channel. Also, check out louiskoster.com/quiz and take the free quiz to discover more about yourself.